So I think at the root of this conscious dying movement that is arising in America, and uh, it's a movement that is entering more and more people's awareness. And I think that part of that, honestly, has to do with the fact that as a humanity, our consciousness is rising. And we're beginning to see how um, multidimensional our lives are. And I think one important point is that, at least in America, but I think around the world, death has become a medical event in the last maybe couple of 100 years at the most. In previous times, in olden times, death was such a natural part of life that uh, every family had a relative, had a grandmother, a grandfather, a parent who was facing death. And the whole family was together in that process. And grandma would be in bed, and the little grandchildren would come round and play on the bed. And death was simply a natural thing. But nowadays, people go into the hospital, they're hooked up to all kinds of machines. They've got a breathing tube, they have an eating tube, they have all kinds of wires, and they're on all kinds of machines, and the doctors are determined to save their life no matter what, even when they're in a natural process of dying. And really, the body knows how to die. And um, so this this movement has arisen out of several different factors: the medicalization of dying and putting people in hospitals rather than letting them die a natural, peaceful, loving death at home. And out of this idea, the hospice movement began somewhere in the 70s, the 80s. Um, Hospice is designed to bring comfort at the end of life. So palliative care is part of that, to deal with the pain, to have a nurse on call, to have volunteers coming in and supporting and talking to the dying person about their wishes, about their fears, about anything that will help to ease their dying process. Um, so the hospice movement has been really uh, a major part of this conscious dying movement. And so now there are many different trainings that teach us how to become a death doula, or someone who is trained to accompany a person as they move towards their death, and how to ask them, what do they want, what kind of uh, surroundings do you want, who do you want to be there as you die, how do you want your spiritual values to be honored as you die. So there are many trainings that will teach us how to be with someone who's dying, whether it's a relative or a client. So there's the Conscious Dying Institute, there's the death midwifery training. There are just many different trainings that are available, and death is becoming almost normalized, which is um, given how we've been conditioned deeply against death and dying, against disease, against loss of life. Um, we're learning how to make these final days and moments as comfortable, as loving, as caring as we possibly can. So the whole idea of compassionate care is arising in America and also other places around the world, but we seem to be just full of courses and learning opportunities for understanding death and dying and supporting it, really supporting it in our lives.